Well, first of all, let me just say, Katina, this setting that we're in this morning, Freshly's Market, this grocery store you've started here, is beautiful.
Thank you.
We're going to get to talking about how this all came to be ground up, but I want to start from the beginning of your story, and that is growing up in Aberdeen, Mississippi. Tell me about growing up here in Aberdeen.
Listen, this is, I grew up here, of course. This is my hometown. I love where I'm from. I love telling people, because I live in LA, that I'm from the hospitality state, so they can guess what state that is, but most people know, because they can tell I'm very hospitable. And just growing up here in the small town, I always say small town of Aberdeen, you know, and I have to describe it. When I describe to people where I'm from, I'd be like, you know, Tupelo, where Elvis was born. And a lot of people,
okay, that's the connection.
Right.
So for your friends and neighbors in LA, how do you describe Aberdeen to them?
I explain to them that it's a small town, and that, again, it's between Tupelo and Columbus, and the way I grew up is my grandmother lives around the corner, my auntie lives next door, like, everybody is here. So they always ask me how I ended up in California, but that's another story for another day. But that's how I explain it to them. I grew up on a rock road in a trailer home.
Wow. And so you graduated from Aberdeen High School a year early, and you went on to the W, and you decided to take the path in the medical field. Why?
Well, growing up, I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
My auntie was a nurse. She graduated from the W. So, of course, you know, she was the baby of the family. So she was like, you know, your mom can't afford for you to go to school to be a doctor because it takes a lot of years. You know, and when you're growing up, you don't understand that you got to do these preceptorships, these internships, and all kind of stuff to become a doctor.
Right.
So she's like, if you become a nurse, then you'll be able to afford to, you know, take care of yourself while you go to medical school. So I was like, okay. But fortunately and unfortunately, I became a teenage mom at the age of 18. I have a wonderful son, and so that led my path to nursing. And of course, I finished and got my nurse practitioner out in LA area at Azusa. And so I became a nurse practitioner, so I was still able to write some prescriptions.
So are you still now practicing in the medical field?
Kind of, sort of, not really.
You don't have time, do you?
I don't. But your family won't let you live it down.
Of course, of course. But the things that you have done, though, beyond practicing as a nurse practitioner, still involve the medical field. So you have opened here in your hometown of Aberdeen an urgent care clinic. So tell us about that and the decision to do that.
Absolutely. So the decision was to build this shopping plaza called The Point. And the reason why we ended up building it is because I was partnering with the church here, and they wanted to move and expand their parking lot area, and that included the Piggly Wiggly and the dollar store.
Okay.
So this actual space that we're in right now was supposed to be housed by Piggly Wiggly. Unfortunately, they didn't get a chance to move in here, and I was supposed to open up the urgent care. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, an urgent care, I can do that. And I know I can do it.
I know a little bit of something about it.
Yeah. I've worked in doctor's offices, and of course I'm a nurse practitioner. I was like, I could do the urgent care. So that was the plan, to open the urgent care, because our town never had one, and people was traveling, and it was something that the town asked for. So because they wanted it, I was like, okay, let's do it. So we end up opening up the urgent care. Couldn't find anybody to house this grocery store space, so I end up opening the grocery store as well.
So let me get this straight now. So this started as urgent care. This is what I'm going to do next to the Piggly Wiggly. The Piggly Wiggly is not going to materialize. I'll take the space and open a grocery store. How do you get in the grocery store business if you've never been in the grocery store business?
It was hard to do, right? Because you got to think about it. We built this during the pandemic, right? And so we couldn't get anybody to partner with us, nobody to move in. People was like, our staffing is an issue. Our money is an issue. No, we don't want to open the grocery store. So me and one of my the pastor, he helped us find distributors and things like that. Very influential in helping us get this done and finding things and researching. Like, I just came from a conference literally yesterday because I'm still learning the grocery store industry.
So this is kind of on the job training for you.
Absolutely, it is.
And so the grocery store, built from the ground up. It's now open, it's thriving. Aberdeen, as you know, is probably considered a food desert. There was one other grocery store here before
That's correct.
Freshly's. And so what does it mean to people here to have this grocery store in town now? We're sitting right now in front of, in the produce section.
You know what? They love it. And people are saying that something like this doesn't belong in Aberdeen, and I believe absolutely it does. We deserve everything that it is and what it's going to be. And so for me, community is very important. And so, we've created programs here like the Double Up Bucks, where if they spend $20, they can get another $20 free in produce. Because
The rewards program, I love a rewards program.
Absolutely. And for me, this was definitely built by the community, and it's for our community, and that's what we say.
When we walked through the doors this morning, and when you say community, you're right. Everyone had a smile from the moment we walk in the door all the way till we got to set up. Those people here love Aberdeen, and they love this grocery store, and they love serving their community.
They do. They really do. And as many people said they had a problem with hiring, I have an influx. I had so many people that I had to turn away people. But we have developed, this has been great. We have about 72 employees, so it's great for income and economic development here in this area.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about this heart you have for giving back to your community, because you do live in Los Angeles. You're back and forth a lot, but your primary home now is Los Angeles, California. But your heart is drawn back here because you have lots of friends, and most of your family's still here, right?
Yes, all my family is here. No one ever moved to California besides me and my son. My mom, my aunties, uncles, everybody lives here in this hometown. And of course, home is where the heart is, right? And I'm truly a hometown Mississippi girl. So this is home for me, regardless that home is in California. Believe it or not, finally, like after 23 years later of living in LA, I was like, okay, I lived in Mississippi for 22 years. Now I've lived here for 23. I guess it's time to say it's home now, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm still home.
Yeah. That's your home away from home.
Yes.
You have some ventures out in LA as well, which is kind of where your nonprofit started. Tell me about the things that you're doing out there.
Yeah, so in LA, we have interim housing for the homeless. And so we provide wraparound services. My specialty is for families, right? Because, I'm big on family because that's how we grew up, family first. And so we have single women's home. We have family homes. We have one that I'm most proud of is for single fathers that are homeless. Oh, wow. So we offer, like I said, wraparound holistic service from a life coach to therapy to nurses to assistance. We provide, I can't even get it out, we provide specialized meals if they have medical illness like diabetes and hypertension. So those are the things that we provide there in LA, and it's for their journey to home.
You have done a lot of things here in Mississippi in terms of helping with the community. Very recently, there was the tornado in Monroe County. I know you helped a family during that time. Talk about reaching out to help in those emergency situations.
It's one of those things that I was saying that, I didn't see homeless growing up. But when I got to LA, it was like, oh my gosh, look at this. Like, it was overwhelming and scary to see so many people on the street. And growing up in our hometown, we never saw anyone on the street because people let them stay in their homes on their couch, what you call couch surfing. They may have been homeless, but
they had somewhere to stay.
Exactly. So here, when the tornado happened and all the people were displaced, I'm like, oh my gosh, they are now without a home.
So when you see people and saw people in that disaster lose their homes, the word homeless hit you in a different way.
It did. I was driving down Highway 45 coming in right after it happened and seeing the roofs and things blown off the homes. When you see it on TV, it's like, okay, you could feel it, but when you're in it, it just gave this different feeling. And I'm like, okay, immediately me and my team was like, what can we do to help? And so Home Depot reached out and we partnered with them to give people things. So we did about 2 or 3 efforts in reference to that. But when I found out one of our 18-wheelers, because we have a trucking company, Divine Trucking Service,
Uh-huh.
when one of our trucks had turned over at one of our employees' home because he was trying to get home, him and his family home was wiped clean.
Wow.
Like they ended up being in the hospital, injured, and it was like, okay, what can we do to help? Like I house people in LA, what can I do here at home? And so of course I have a couple of empty spots, and I was able to renovate that home really quickly.
I heard, like,
Yes.
quickly.
Very quickly,
Uh-huh.
and to furnish it and get them in it. It was kind of supposed to be a surprise, but my brother, who can't keep surprises, had kind of told the son, and, you know, they knew we was giving them the house, and they're still there currently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
and so
fantastic.
my truck driver, he's back. Our truck driver's back driving,
And he
so
and his family are in a home.
yes, they are, and they love the home. They love the way we decorated the home. And it was exciting to be able to do that for someone that she grew up with me too. So she was like a couple of grades behind me. So to do that, it was just so. I mean, words cannot ever describe how elated and how it feels to be able to help someone and to change their life.
When I hear you talk about your story, about your business ventures, about your efforts in philanthropy, the word community just keeps coming up because it means a lot to you to help and have community. Your team here in Aberdeen that helps keep the ball rolling for you is part of the community. Talk about having this team here that's able to do everything while you're away, you know, thousands of miles away.
Yeah, they got me coming in here about every 2 weeks right now. But yes, absolutely. They keep it. Without them, you can't do it. It takes a village to do anything successful. No one person can build a business alone.
Okay.
And if they say they did it alone, it's not the truth.
They're lying.
Yes, exactly. And so they know what it is. They know, you know, our motto here is happy, healthy, fresh here in the grocery store.
Okay.
And we believe that happiness when you walk into Freshly's is guaranteed. And if they don't be happy, call me and let me know.
I believe that because those ladies had smiles on their faces, you know, when we walked through the door. I love it. Happy, healthy, fresh. I love
Yes.
that. You have some long-term plans of some things that you would like to do. Are you comfortable sharing, like things that you have, that big dreams that you might have down the road for Aberdeen?
Absolutely. I can share a couple of things. So currently we're gonna do some affordable housing here. So literally right across the street here, we have a couple of acres, more than a couple of acres, but we're gonna be building an apartment complex there.
Oh, wow.
Because housing is an issue here. I have a whole waiting list at our real estate office of people that need to get housed. People are asking all the time, and development of new houses. Aberdeen is a great city. It's in a great location. We in between Tupelo and Columbus. We surrounded by West Point, Starkville, and it's a great location for someone willing to locate and get this hometown feel.
Affordable housing, that just goes back to you helping the community. Beyond that, what else are you thinking?
So the others is to be continued.
To be continued. You can't give it all away. Well, I will say this. You have no doubt invested financially. You have invested your heart. You have invested your time into your hometown. Where does that come from? And how do you get the buy-in from the people here who are willing to help you?
You know what? It's sometimes it has been a struggle, but they see that I'm doing it for the good of the community. And everything I do it from my heart. So what comes from the heart goes to the heart, right? So they know that I'm truly in it to help the community. It's a great community to be in, and I just love where I'm from. And that's one of the reasons why I do it. So because the love that I have for it, it just shows. And this is where we are.
So you've done half your life in Aberdeen. You've, at this point, half of it has been now out in California. I mean, is there another half to happen in Aberdeen, maybe, or closer to Aberdeen?
It seems like it because my husband, who is originally was born in Jackson, but I met him in California.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Is liking Aberdeen.
Really?
Yes.
Really? So it could happen, or maybe just back in Mississippi.
Yeah, retirement age.
Absolutely. Well, it's been great being here. Congratulations on all that you're doing. I know for a fact that people of Aberdeen are proud to you. What do you hear from people when you're out, when you come back home, and they're walking around in this grocery store?
Like, it's funny because some people see me on the commercials, right, from the TV, and they're like, oh my gosh. They be excited to meet me. They tell me how proud and how glad that they have this here. They talk about how clean it is. They talk about how wonderful the staff is. They talk about our customer service is number one, and of course we pride ourselves off that. That's why you got that welcome to Freshly's when you walk through the door and the smiles, because that's what we believe in. That's who we are. Our core values is love, family, you know, compassion, and so I can go on, and faith, and so that's who we are at the core.
Absolutely. Well, happy, healthy, fresh, and we love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending some time with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me today.